Friday Night Lights is an NBC television show that aired from 2006 to 2011. The show is about a football team from a small town high school in Texas. For most of the show's seasons, the football team has a white starting quarterback named Matt Saracen and a black starting running back named Brian Smash Williams. This presentation will focus on a specific scene that explores how the brute trope is applied to the black running back. The brute trope, in which black men are depicted as inherently violent, has a long history of usage in black male representation in the United States, and this presentation will seek to show an example of how this trope continues to present itself in modern media. Before we dive into the scene, let's give some additional context to the brute trope. Before emancipation, black men were often depicted as lazy and unintelligent. This is called the Sambo trope, and it created a harmful media narrative that worked to justify slavery by claiming that enslaving black men was the only way for them to contribute in a productive way. After emancipation, however, this narrative shifted and black men were increasingly depicted as violent and dangerous. This gave the white majority new ways to justify the oppression of now free black men in the name of public safety. You can see this in films like Birth of a Nation, as well as some of the media examples I've included on this slide. This shift led to terrible outcomes for black men, who were constantly viewed with suspicion and often punished without trial in cruel ways up to and including being burned and lynched to death. In the scene we're about to consider, we see how the brute trope continues to be present in modern media. This is Mac. Mac is one of the coaches on the football team, and in this scene he is being interviewed by the media about racism in high school football. The interviewer asks why Smash Williams, the black running back, hasn't been considered for quarterback, because Smash is known to have a good arm. Mac replies with comments about how Smash's natural abilities are more suited to the position of running back, and then makes this statement. Guys like Smash are fearless, they're dangerous, they're like junkyard dogs. I mean, you want them carrying the ball, you want them tearing up turf out there. So next, we'll spend some time considering how this quote is an expression of the brute trope, and think about how this can be harmful to black men. The coach, Mac, refuses to apologize for his actions, and Smash Williams, who is pictured here, leads the black players, about a dozen of them, off the field in protest at the beginning of the next practice. This is a moving action that pushes back against the stereotypes being applied by Coach Mac and gives the black players a way to voice their opposition to being depicted as brutes. The example of the brute trope we are exploring here is a fictional exploration of how this trope manifests in depictions of black high school football athletes. However, there are also tangible connections to how black men are represented in real life in the sport of football at the highest levels. There is a history in competitive and professional football of black athletes being underrepresented in positions that are considered more intellectual, such as quarterback, and also in coaching positions. There is also a history of media personalities talking more about the athleticism and natural ability of black football players, whereas white football players are more likely to be commended for their intelligence and decision-making. As black quarterbacks are given more opportunities in the National Football League, which we are seeing more and more of, it will be interesting to see how the media frames their successes and challenges, and how stereotypes such as the brute trope that we saw in Friday Night Lights play into these representations now and in the future.